Welcome to the Alpha Training and Consulting's online training program. Today's module is entitled the Unit Conversion Module. The purpose of this module is to explain what happens when a number is multiplied by 1. Well, that's not too difficult, is it? To explain the value of a number when the value of the numerator and denominator are of equal value. To teach how to use the equal value principle to convert one unit into another. There is a rule of mathematics that says if you multiply a number by 1, it will not change its value. So 2 times 1, I could say a value of 1 actually. So if you multiply a number by a value of 1, it does not change its value. Example, 2 times 1 equals 2. 45 times 1 equals 45. 1,555 times 1 equals, you got it, 1,555, and of course 1 million times 1 equals a million. So it doesn't matter if they're small numbers, decimal numbers, fraction numbers, large numbers, whatever the case may be. If you multiply a number by a value of 1, it will not change its value. There's another rule that says if you have a fraction whose numerator is equal in value to the denominator, then the fraction is equal to 1. So 5 over 5 equals 1. 107 over 107 is 1. By the way, the numerator is the upper number, denominator is the bottom number. When the numerator and denominator equal each other, they'll always be equal to 1. And there you have a few examples right there. Another interesting fact is that you can have different numbers that share the same value. Let me say that again. That's kind of strange, isn't it? You can have different numbers that share the same value. For example, 12 inches equals 1 foot. Now, 12 does not equal 1, numerically speaking, but 12 inches does in fact equal 1 foot. If we agree that 12 inches has the same value in length as 1 foot, then we must agree that 12 inches over 1 foot is equal in value to 1. They should be because they're of equal value. So in reality, that value of that ratio is 1. Of course, we can flip it upside down, put foot on the top and inches on the bottom. Doesn't matter. They're still of the same value, and they still equal 1. So if this is true, we should be able to multiply this ratio or fraction, 12 inches over 1 foot, by a number without changing its value. That's interesting. And that is exactly correct. And we call those unit conversion factors or fractions. These ratios whose numbers and denominators have different numbers but equal values are called unit conversion factors. When you multiply a number by a unit conversion factor, it changes the number but does not change the value of the number. For example, let's convert 1 foot into inches. So I have this 1 foot and I want to convert it into feet. Well, what I do is I bring my 12 inches equals 1 foot and I want to cancel these out. So I want to cancel out feet and I want inches left over. So I'll flip this conversion factor over where feet's on the bottom. That means if one's on the top, one's on the bottom, foot over foot equals 1. Okay? And if it's 1 times something, you can get rid of it. And that's what we did. So 1 foot over 1 foot. What do we left over with? 12 inches. So you have to do math on both the words, the units, and the numbers. You have to remember that. You do math on both the units and numbers. And I know you're thinking, I'm not used to doing math with units or with words, but it is. If it's 2 words and one's over the other, foot over foot equals 1. And so I could replace that, get rid of those, and just put 1 here. 1 times 12 is 12. Let's do one that's a little more difficult here. Now we will convert 20 feet into inches. Okay, what do I want to keep? Inches. So in my unit conversion factor, I'm putting inches in the numerator because that's what I want to keep. And then I'm going to multiply that by 20 feet. The feet cancel out there. And then I just go 20 times 12 divided by 1 equals 240 inches. Now, did it change the value? No, 20 feet equals 240 inches. Same thing. But did it change the number? Oh, absolutely it changed the number. Started out at 20, now it's 240. But the value stays the same. Why? Because I multiplied that number by a value of 1. So we know from this unit conversion factor that 20 feet equals 240 inches. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Now let's do another one, only this time we're going to convert 35 inches into feet. Okay, or foot. That's what I put there. Okay, and that's all right. We know that 1 foot over 12 inches is a good fraction for unit conversion. Those are equal. 1 foot does equal 12 inches. Notice I flipped it over this time because this time I want to keep my feet, but I want to get rid of the inches. That's why I flipped this over this time, so inches will cancel out. Then I go 35 divided by 12 is 2.9167. So I know that 35 inches equals 2.9167 feet. Notice the inches got canceled out, the feet came through in the math. So there we did math on words, on units. And that's part of doing unit conversion. You have to be able to do that. So from this, we know that 35 inches equals 2.9167 feet. Let's do another one. Now we will convert square feet into acres. The conversion factor, 43,560 square feet equals 1 acre. So this is equal to 1 because 43,560 square feet equals 1 acre. How did I get that? I looked it up in a unit conversion table and used that. So now let's apply it to a real life problem, if you will. For example, let's say we measured our kitchen and found it to have an area of 320 square feet. Your dad, a farmer no doubt, calls and asks you how large your kitchen is, but he wants to know the kitchen size in acres instead of square feet. So what you do is you go back and get this and say, okay, I want acres to hang in here, so I'm going to flip this upside down. So acres is in the numerator, square feet is in the denominator. Then I take my 320 square feet. The square feet cancel out. What am I left with? Acres flushes through here. Now I just go 320 divided by 43,650, and it's my kitchen is 0.00733 acres. So I call my father and say, Father, you want to know the size of my kitchen in acres? It's 0.00733 acres. And he says, oh, that's a pretty nice kitchen you have there. It's a pretty big one. See, different people communicate more effectively in units that they're used to. And so that's why we need to change units from time to time. You can only perform unit conversion with like units, however. For example, you can convert inches into meters because they are both units of length. Or you can convert liters into gallons because they are both volumes. You cannot convert gallons into inches because gallons is a unit of volume and inches is a unit of length. So remember, you can only perform unit conversions on like units. Now this is a unit conversion table. This same book that I got this from is where I got the acre and square foot thing. But notice 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. So I could go 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters. They're equal value. So that's a unit conversion right there. Or if I wanted to do one for meters, I'd go 1 inch over 2.54 times 10 to the negative 2 meters. So there's another one. There's one for kilometers. And notice inch and inch, of course, are going to be 1. Then feet, if I want to do it that way, 1 inch equals 8.33 times 10 to the negative 2 feet. And there's if I want to convert it into miles. So I can create all kinds of unit fractions using this table because on every row here, all those numbers are equal, as long as remember to put in your units, of course, which means you can create fractions with any of those numbers along those rows. This is another one where you can look up and say, I want to convert, what am I looking at here? Wow, light years, huh? I want to convert light years into miles. Light years into miles. Wow. That's pretty different, isn't it? So 5.9 times 10 to the 12th equals that 5 trillion or whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is. Okay. But that's what you multiply miles by. So if you want to convert light years into miles, you multiply light years by 5.9 times 10 to the 12th. And that will convert it into miles. And then if you want to convert lines per square inch into Webers per square meter, okay, you multiply the lines per square inch by this number. So everyone has their preferences. I personally like this one because it doesn't take up as much space, and I can create whatever unit conversion I desire. Of course, this is for length. If I would have turned the page, there would be volume there, etc. Congratulations, you have almost completed this module. However, remember, you still need to complete the module exam. If you have any questions, please contact me, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Congratulations, you have completed this module. I hope you have learned something new that will enhance your career. Thank you, and goodbye.